Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. It's Vlogmas in July 2021, day 29, which makes it a Throwback Thursday video. This week's Throwback Thursday is not Quilt As You Go like all the other ones have been, but it is a Scrappy Quilt Back that I made. This quilt back accompanied my Dresden Plate quilt, and right now that quilt is in Warner Robins, Georgia with my nephew Landon. It was his gift from me. But I took the time and I made a really huge Scrappy quilt back. So I'm going to put that video in for this week's Throwback Thursday. If you have questions, of course, leave them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video very much. Thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you later. Bye. I am working on creating a scrappy quilt backing for this Dresden Plate quilt top. If you've followed my videos, you may have seen that I made this quilt top. The Dresden Plate itself was made out of some scrap fabrics that I had, and then I backed it on this dark gray. Then I pulled from some really large scraps that I had to turn the blocks on point. It also has some black sashing, so I wanted to decide if I should make a scrappy back for the quilt, and some of my subscribers did say they wanted to see that, so this is for you guys. I am making this for this quilt top. What I have first of all is I'm going to fold this up for right now. And this is pretty much improvised. I don't really have a plan yet. I have been working through some things in my brain, but nothing's set in stone yet. So I'm just going to kind of take what I have and then take you through the process. Every quilt back is a little different, and at the end of the video, I'll show you a few more other pieced quilt backs that I did that are scrappy, so you can see that for each quilt, the process is just a little bit different. So I'm going to take this and put it on the floor in the normal area where I lay out the quilts in my living room, just to see if it's if the quilt back is going to be big enough. You know, I'm not going to do any measuring other than just laying it on the quilt and seeing how big the back gets. Okay, so this is going in the living room in a few minutes. I'm going to push it out of the way for right now. And what I'm going to do first is go through these scraps that I have to see what sizes I have. These are scraps from that quilt top, so it can give some continuity on the back of the quilt. Okay, I also pulled, just in case I don't have enough, I have a collection of what I would consider my medium-sized fabrics. So if I need to pull, I can do that. Since the top is scrappy, I'm not really concerned about if I have to use other fabrics. I may try to work in the same colors, but I might not. Okay, so the first step is going to be to see what I have. This is from the Heartbeat Bargello quilt that I made, and these were 108-inch, or no, they weren't. But this was the backing for that quilt, so I'm going to have some pretty big pieces. So I'll put all of this stuff, because even if it's not wide, it's long. So I need some long pieces. Here's another piece that's going to be really long. So those kind of go in my big stack. And then these are kind of medium, you know, so like medium, I'll do a medium strip. You know, these are medium strips. Okay, and then this one kind of goes into the skinnier strip, the small strip, and I am going to use these too, so I'll make a small strip pile. Okay, and then look, here's another. These are just small strips, but I think they can be worked in, and what I would do with those is try to use them first. So small strip, and this is a rectangle of fabric, so I'll open it out and I'll do the medium pile of this too. So I have medium skinnies, medium bigs, just to see how much fabric I actually have to work with. So I'll do this, I'll finish it, and then I'll show you how I've sorted things when I come back on camera. I have my fabric sorted. So I have just a few little skinny strips here, and then I have some medium strips here, and then these are the pieces that are wider. So these are more like rectangles right here, and then here I have pieces that I had full width of fabrics. The amount varies, but it's a full width of fabric, so it's a full 42 or 40 to 42 inches. And then these are left over from the backing pieces, and so they're pretty big. At this point, as I looked at the quilt that was over on the floor, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned because it is so big. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and lay out these big pieces just to see if I have some pieces that are long enough to fit. And this is only two fabrics. This is this, it's white with a blue crosshatch pattern, and then these military green with the stars on it. I am not going to worry about the patterns. I'm just going to look at the fabric because I know it's going to go because it's what's on the front of on the top of the quilt. But it's like, don't panic because these are weird patterns together. I think it's going to be fine. I am going to press these. I don't know if I'm going to press them right now because I'm just getting a rough estimate. I just want to see if I have some pieces that are long enough. So I'll do that, and then I'll show you what that looks like. All right, I have everything laid out. These were my longest pieces, and I actually only had one here at the bottom, 2, 3, 4 that the green star that actually were long enough to cover the whole thing. And I found, I don't even know if you can see it, I found this strip of like damask, I think that's what it's called, and it's in all of the blocks on the front, and I've had it forever, and I was just looking at it and I couldn't cut it up yet, so it's actually going to go on the back of this quilt. So now I think that I might have a plan if I have enough fabric. The fabrics that weren't long enough, they're going to go in with my medium strips so I can start cutting them down. And my goal is to try to keep these big pieces, the pieces that can fit all the way across, I want to keep those as they are. So I won't cut into those. I'll just probably do a little bit of squaring up here and there. But I'm going to kind of draw out a plan, hopefully, and show you what my plan is, and then hopefully I can work the plan. Here's the plan I have so far. Hopefully you can see that on camera. And what I have is my 5 solid strips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by rows of the skinny strips. And I really don't know how well this is going to work. I'm just going to start and see where it goes, but this is kind of what I'm thinking about. Hopefully it'll, you know, if we need to fix it a little bit, we will. I'm going to start by, I need to press all my fabrics, and I'm going to start cutting them, I think, into 10-inch rectangles. I think that's I want them to be 10 inches, 10-inch strips, and then I'll start cutting them down into smaller rectangles. I've taken time and cut rectangles that are 10 inches wide, and then they're at varying lengths, from about 2.5 inches to about 5 inches. These are all the ones from the fabric that I had, so I'm a little concerned that I might not have enough. So I went ahead and I cut a few more from some scraps. At first I was trying to look for a color combination, but then I was like, it's a scrappy quilt, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to start stitching these together, you know, just right sides together, and trying to make a long strips. And I need to get 4, but I'll see how much I can get out of these. And I'm gonna actually do the really skinny ones. I'm gonna stitch these together first, and then I'll cut some smaller rectangles out of these and then put them with all of this. So let me make a couple of these, and then I'll show you what's next. Here's what I have so far with the rectangles for the quilt back. I'll show you, I kind of zoom in on the spots where we still have some extra that need to be covered. Right here down at the bottom you can see the sashing where the Dresden plates still are, and then there's another little area up here near the top and you can see the bottoms of the plates. I have a couple of ideas about what to do about those. There is one more strip that of these rectangles that needs to be taken care of, but I'm going to go ahead and start sewing this together like this. I am probably going to start from the top, so I'll start with this green and then I'll start moving down as far as sewing everything together, because I have to save room for the strip that's still not finished, and then I think I'm going to have to add at least one more strip. So let's start sewing that together and then we'll see what we come up with. I have the quilt back finished, but before I show you the back, I have the top laid out because I just want to make sure that the quilt back is outside of the top of the quilt so that I have some extra room if I need it. And it looks like I have about at least 3 inches on every side. So that's what I need, and you can see it all the way it's poking out from behind the quilt. And even if it's uneven, like right there it's uneven, it doesn't matter. So now I will flip the back over and show you what it looks like. Here is the completed quilt back. I'd really like all of the different fabrics that went into it. I can't believe that it started out from 5 long strips and ended up turning into this with just some cutting of some rectangles. There are a few things that I want to show you up close. At the beginning of the video I told you about the really skinny strips and how I was going to use those. The really skinny strips are right here. I've stitched them together and then I cut rectangles out of them. So you'll see many different little blocks like this. Let's see, there was one. Here's one a little wider, and then here's one a little skinnier, and then there's one up, kind of up in the corner too. And then there's one more thing I want to show you. This row here, after I got everything pieced, there was still about 10 to 12 inches or 8 to 10 inches that needed to be filled in. So I found some fat quarters that I got for Christmas, and I just cut some squares out of there and put them in the back right here. So it's very cool. I really like the way it turned out. If you have any questions about this quilt back, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!